out these driveways. So I got to finish up the backfill here. But yeah, so what we're going to do is cut this down at the curb. And we'll go typically in line with the corner of the garage right to the curb. This sign, look at that, right in the middle of the driveways. Interesting. Definitely gonna have to yank that out. So we're gonna cut these all out. We've got gravel coming, some 2-inch clear for a base. We're gonna install the bases now for the winter time. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Dirty Diggers, wherever you are. Welcome back to another Dirty Diggers video. Today's video, as you guys saw the quick little walkthrough at the beginning there, we are cutting out some driveways here on some houses we have backfilled recently. I don't know if anyone recognizes or not, but if you watched my video from a few weeks back, digging sewers in the winter, that was these houses here. So now we are... they've been inspected and backfilled, and we're back to dig the driveways. We've shown up here this morning, got a decent little bit of frost, so it was a bit of a struggle to break through it here, as you can tell. Once you got like one section going, then you could actually chip away at it and go a lot smoother. But that first little bit to get through sometimes took a while, especially because normally when there is cold and frost happening, it's usually where people are driving over that gets the worst of it. It packs into the ground, it seems like. And I think that's exactly what happened here on these driveways, so lucky us. And the other thing is the dump trucks with the gravel weren't supposed to show up until mid-morning, but we basically got here, fired up the machines, and as I was finishing my little briefing of the morning video showing what was going to go on, the dump trucks showed up. So now we had 2 dump trucks sitting there on the side of the road waiting for us to prep a spot here as quick as we could for them to dump their load. So we worked on getting this ready as quick as possible for at least them to get those first 2 loads off, because then after that it was about an hour or so, hour and a half round trip for the guys to go and come back. So then once they dump these loads, we'd have plenty of time to work on getting more driveways prepped between me and Mary on the dozer here. And so what we typically do is we go roughly in line with the corners of the garage straight to the road. What we do is we usually want to take out roughly about, well, I'd say at least 8 inches, sometimes a little more, but at least about 8 inches around the curb, and go just uphill to the bottom of the garage concrete there. They're still going to pour another, I think about 5-inch slab or so on top of that. So our base will come up to about the top of that, so then we ever to put another 4 or 5 inches of gravel in the future to top it up. So we're typically just gonna clean this all up, take out the fill. I usually, when I do backfill, like to leave it a little bit low on purpose, so I have some room to lose some of this fill material that comes out of the driveways. It's just a good way to not carry in fill and then dig it out here and have way too much. Once you do things enough, you kind of get the idea of the best way to do it. And when I'm cutting out driveways for a development like this, and there's several houses in a row, I find that's the best thing to do. Leave it a bit low, and then you know you're gonna have some fill coming out of the driveways, and you can lose it there where you're low. In this case here, we were actually decently low on fill at the far units at the very back there. The first 2 units were, again, don't know if you remember that first video, but we were, when we were digging the sewers, they didn't even have the sewer connections in. So that the actual sewer pipe was never installed. There was a big screw up on the developer. So they had to come back and install that after now, like that we're, already digging the basement and everything. They had to come back and install that, go across the gas lines, the hydro, all that stuff to connect it at the street, at the main. So anyways, needless to say, at those first 2, we were short fill because we didn't put any there. And it was a bit low, but we kind of worked our way here. That's why I started on this end. I started on this end, cutting out driveways for that reason, and just kept swinging whatever extra dirt I had and kept pushing it and working my way down that way. And it actually, by the end of it, ended up balancing out perfectly. Like, we thought we were still going to have to haul in a dozen loads or so, or maybe even 10 loads to the back because we're so low. But just in all the fill we had left over here from the driveways, we just managed to make it work and keep swinging it down that way, as you'll see me and Mario doing here. That's kind of what our aim was. Now, I don't know if it's just me, but watching the dozer and listening to it push this 2-inch clear stone, there's something very soothing about this. It just, it's almost like mesmerizing. I feel like, I don't want to sit here and say it's boring, because it's actually very interesting to me anyways. It might not be to everybody, but there's something so soothing about it. Like, if I were to close my eyes, it's almost like go to sleep. That soothing sound of rocks just tumbling against each other. I don't know, I always found that very soothing. The whole, like, listening to like a waterfall trickling in the background or something. There's just, to me, it's something very soothing about just hearing the rocks clattering off each other, just gently being pushed along. Am I a weirdo, or does anyone else agree with me? Let me know in the comments below. All right, if you enjoyed watching the video, guys, please give it a like, subscribe if you're new. I hope you found this somewhat informative. If you guys do it differently, again, I'd like to know any tips or ways you guys do things. Please let me know in the comments below what type of stone you guys use for driveways, or how you guys cut in base driveways, or what your typical process is. Let me know in the comments below. And again, thank you for watching. Take care, everyone.